Unmasking trauma's impact on your inner parts. No bad parts, just burdened ones. This video is about embracing your inner parts as they truly are. So let's talk about your inner critic. You know, the part of you that talks down on you before you even get started, who makes sure you are well aware of everything that you did wrong after every social interaction. You know what I'm talking about. Here's a hot take. Your inner critic is not a bad part of you. It is just burdened with all of the criticism you've received in your life. It is buried under the weight of the judgment you've received, and it doesn't even like playing the role of the inner critic. It is just afraid that if it stopped, you would receive even more judgment and more criticism from others. So what if this critical part of you needs your help to get out from under that pain and into a sense of safety, freedom, and play? That's what this video is about. How to free your inner parts, all of them, from the burdens they carry so you can live your life free from the effects of your past trauma. Sound good? Burdens 101. The term burdens was coined by Dr. Richard Schwartz, who is the founder of the internal family systems or IFS modality. And burdens refers to the extreme emotions, the emotional pain, the negative beliefs that parts of you end up carrying after experiencing trauma. This is really important to understand because it takes you from, I hate this inner critic, I want it gone, and I will just keep fighting against it, to, oh, this critical part of me isn't trying to just like mess with me. It has been through some tough experiences and is carrying a lot of pain. From this standpoint, you'll actually be able to help your inner critic so it doesn't have to feel so much pain anymore, which means that it doesn't have to take that pain out on you and the rest of your parts in there. It is a real win-win. But that can't happen unless you can understand that there isn't anything wrong with your problematic parts. They are just carrying painful burdens and they need your help releasing them. So here are some types of burdens that your parts may be carrying. There are 4 main types of burdens that your parts might be carrying: extreme beliefs, extreme emotions, collective burdens, and ancestral burdens. Let's go over extreme beliefs. So one type of burden that our parts can carry is extreme beliefs. Beliefs like you're not safe unless you're perfect. You're not safe unless you have all of the answers. It's not okay to feel your emotions, or that you are unworthy of love. Extreme emotions is another kind of burden that our parts can carry. Emotions like terror, rage, grief, things like that. Emotions that make it really, really hard to function as a human being in our society when we're feeling them. Like, our parts do their best to carry those emotions for us in a way to protect us from being overwhelmed by them 24/7, which is just all the more reason to have compassion for yourself and to learn to help your parts release that pain. Collective burdens is another kind of burden. There are also collective burdens that our culture is full of. Like, they're just floating around in the air in our culture. They're embedded in our systems and in our structures and in our policies. Examples of collective burdens are racism, patriarchal ideologies, hyper-individualization, ageism, and all those other nasty isms that permeate our modern culture. And different cultures have different collective burdens floating in the air and permeating relationships. So these kinds of burdens will vary depending on the cultures or subcultures that your unique parts were raised in and exist in. Ancestral burdens is another type of burdens that our parts can carry. These are the burdens that get passed down to you through your lineage. So the unresolved trauma from your parents and even your parents' parents gets passed down generation after generation until someone along the line is able to alchemize it and release it. So if you know in your bones that you are the person in your family that is finally putting their foot down and doing the work to release your ancestral trauma, oh my goodness, like, you have to incorporate parts work into your life. It is a complete game changer and will be extremely helpful to you. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so that you can continue that journey of breaking and healing that ancestral trauma through parts work, because ain't nobody talking about parts work the way that I'm talking about parts work. So how do parts take on these burdens? One way burdens can be passed down is through our ancestry and lineage. If your parents' parts were carrying burdens they hadn't released, it is very, very likely that your parts carry similar burdens. This is a huge reason why parts work is so important and why I believe everyone needs to do this work. That way we don't continue to pass on the burdens of our ancestors to future generations. And in fact, the more safety you can build for your inner parts, you actually start passing that down to future generations, that inner sense of safety and worthiness awareness and resiliency. Another way burdens can be passed down is through trauma. Both big trauma events and small events and chronic events and one-time events, it doesn't matter. Trauma creates burdens. It doesn't have to be a significant experience to create a significant burden for our innocent little parts. Like being met with any of the harsh realities of life, even if it's just a small disappointment, can be a big shock and create significant burdens when we're still in our innocence. So the moral of the story here is that your parts aren't bad parts. They are carrying painful burdens that they did not ask for. Nobody asks for the burdens they've been given. Your parts didn't ask for the deck of cards that they were handed through your lineage, through your trauma, or through your culture. All your parts have always been doing the best that they can with the burdens they were given. And a big part of parts work is about being able to separate our parts from the burdens they carry, so we can help them actually be able to release those burdens. So do you understand what I mean now when I say you have no bad parts? Are you able to understand that all of your parts are only ever trying to protect you? That does not mean, this does not mean that the outcome of their behavior is helpful, but it does mean that even despite all the shit they've been through, they are still trying to do their best to protect you and get your needs met. The goal is to never make your parts go away. That's not even possible. The goal is to help your burdened parts feel safe enough to put down their burdens, to let go of their survival mode roles, and to play the role they would actually like playing for you. That's called thriving. Underneath all the big, scary survival mode tactics, your parts are just wanting to feel safe and to feel loved and to feel worthy of that love. And parts work is how you make that happen. Get to know your first part. Have I convinced you to at least try parts work yet? Well, I made that really easy for you by creating a free worksheet that walks you through the process of meeting a part of you and then having a whole conversation with them step by step. You can download it for free using the link in the descriptions below.